Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Hockey Happy Hour, live from on A2DRadio.com from the Real Talk Studios, brought to you by Scanzano Sports Center, located at 5 Carnegie Plaza in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. Give them a call 856-889-3434 or visit them on the web at www.scanzanosports.com. I mean, what are we doing here? What the fuck are we doing? Ron Hextall gets fucking fired from the fucking Flyers. Are you fucking kidding me? And you want to know what else? I guarantee you it has something to do with that piece of shit, Paul Holmgren. I want that motherfucker dead. That son of a bitch just fucked this team over
At least he's not pointing
so
at me.
royally. I cannot fucking believe this. Are you kidding me? Oh, and he gets on at a press conference, and he has the fucking gall to say, oh, well, it wasn't because he didn't want to fire Hextall. Fuck you! That's exactly what it was about. Don't try and play fucking bullshit with me. I know for a fact that that had to have been the major reason why you decided to let Hexy go, because Hexy didn't want to part with his coach. Didn't want to part with his coach. Are you fucking joking? You're firing a GM who's done nothing but invest in the future of the Flyers, restocked a bone-dry farm system, has made phenomenal draft picks for the most part. I can't really complain about them. On top of that, too, has really not made any shitty deals, unlike your dumbass that made one fucking bad deal after another when you were fucking GM. Are you fucking joking right now? That is where we're at. That is where we have come to. We have built up this team to what? Give up midway through and say, fuck it, trade it all the fuck away, go get the old farts, and let's go make another fucking run for the cup. Are you fucking joking? Are you fucking joking?
Marty, I'm scared.
Unfucking believable. You stupid, incompetent, inept piece of shit. Do us a favor. You know what? Retire. Either retire or step the fuck down. Because you know what? The crowd shouldn't be chanting fire Hextall. The name should now be fucking Holmgren. Or fucking get somebody out of this organization that thought that that decision needed to be greenlit. Because that is the dumbest fucking move I've seen this team make in quite some fucking time. They were doing just fine until right then and there. And the sad part of it is that now that Hexy's gone, I now am worried that the young guys, they're on borrowed time. They're on borrowed time because it's only going to be a matter of time before they go and find someone that's willing to trade them to go get veterans. And yes, one veteran. I wanted one fucking veteran.
You got Andrew McDonald.
I don't think now's the time to bring that up.
I'm going to let that one slide. With that being said, I just wanted one veteran, one legitimate defensive talented veteran, someone that is beyond talented, which is not hard to do. I could go get a 5-year-old, put him on skates, and he'd be more talented than Andrew McDonald right fucking now. And he may not know how to skate, and he may look like a newborn giraffe just learning how to walk, but I'll tell you right now,
They learn pretty quick.
Yeah, but still, he has more talent than that piece of shit Andrew McDonald ever had in his fucking career, whether it was with the Islanders or whether it was with the Flyers. And yet, oh, and by the way, that was a signing by you, dumbass Holmgren. On top of that, too, look at where we are now. Oh, and by the way, Hextall, thank you for being here. He's the first one who's going come the offseason. He may not go during the season, but he's going to be gone come the offseason. He's out.
Well, I think that's the biggest issue here. I think Holmgren wanted Hextall gone, and that's one thing that Hextall didn't want to part ways with, I feel, is with him. And, you know, I think that's more the majority reason as to why he got fired was because of that reason. And I think once this new GM, whoever it will be, is going to step in, I think that might be one of the first moves he makes. Depending how, you know, the team starts to ride. I mean, they're bottom of the East right now, so I see changes coming, and it's not going to be good for the Flyers. I really do.
All right, so real quick before I give my opinion on what just happened, totally unexpected. I may have peed a little. Brian Daly, Mikey Klinkoff,
I forgot
Masson
to do that,
Sudi.
didn't I?
It's okay. Listen, we understand the circumstances here, and believe me, if I were you, I wouldn't be too happy.
Listen, I'm probably going to get, hung out to dry on this one, but I thought it was the right move.
Really?
I do.
Why?
Look at the roster. In what way have they improved? The AHL team has improved drastically. They gave you a farm system. That's great. But what has Ron Hextall actually done in 4 years?
Helped restock a team. And
No, I get that. And believe me, he was one of the best guys for that job. But I'm talking about the NHL roster. He hasn't done much to improve them at all.
But to be fair, that is a very unfair criticism of him, considering the fact he was handcuffed for how many years of that time period, working through really shitty contracts that somehow, some way, he managed to offload a Chris Pronger contract that was bad. He also managed to get rid of another one. I'm just saying, it's not all his fault that he couldn't make any drastic changes to that main roster.
But, Paul Holmgren, his boss, wanted Carter Hart on the team. Ron Hextall said no, and that's fine. Ron Hextall had a game set plan that he wanted to do.
Yes.
And he didn't want to deviate from.
And
again, that's fine too. But Holmgren wanted them to take a step forward, and he never took that step forward.
Well, that's the thing, though. Here's the problem with that. You have a mostly young team. You've got a lot of young talent. Not necessarily you even have young talent on the offense, but even the offense – a lot of times that wasn't the real big issue right now. The biggest issue was their defense. And the problem with that is because, namely, we have a lot of young guys on this team that are still developing. And on top of that, too, they don't have a legitimate leader on that defensive team.
And whose fault's that?
Well, at the end of the day, you even said it yourself. Hexie made plays to try and get guys. He just didn't get them at the end of the day. And that's not really the fault of Hextall if he doesn't get them. I'm mad he didn't get them, but that's not something to fire somebody over if he's making the calls, if he's saying, hey, man, I'm trying. It's not my fault that nobody wants to bite down on what I'm offering unless I want to gut this team just to go get a defensive veteran to lead maybe 2-3 prospects at most that may carry us over into a few years down the line, not 5 or 6 years down the line from now when we're going to need to restock again. And that's my biggest worry right now because GMs and here's the sad part, Holmgren he's basically sledded around the issue, but it's the truth. He said we want outside-the-box thinking. We want somebody who's outside the organization thinking, oh, gee, is it so outside the box that when he comes in he could be your fucking puppet so that way you can tell him, hey, guess what? We want to trade this guy because, at the end of the day, we think he's a good, talented player, but he isn't developing fast enough, so trade him away and go get a veteran. That is what I don't want to see, and that is my biggest concern going forward right now because Paul Holmgren – I don't care if people say he's a nice guy. I guarantee you that son of a bitch is looking this over and saying to himself, aha, it's my chance now to get back into it without having to be the general manager. That son of a bitch should have gotten fired when he was GM, and he got promoted. And still, that asshole came back to bite us in the ass once again. When you get a chance, you get rid of the guy. You get rid of him. I'm pretty sure if I go back into a time machine right now and I have a gun to Adolf Hitler's head, I'm pretty sure people want me to pull that trigger, don't they? Don't they? I don't think they want me to think twice about it. Same thing here. When you have him dead to rights, he failed as a GM, do you not fire him or do you promote him? You fire his ass. You say, you fucking failed at your job. Get the fuck out. You're terrible. I don't want you in this organization.
That's the Flyers' problem. Loyalty to guys who have been a part of the organization before.
Yeah.
That's why, listen, that's another reason why I think Hextall needed to be gone. Bring in somebody else. Bring in a guy who's actually built a fucking team.
What do you mean? He did build a team.
He built an AHL team.
No. He helped build the team out in Los Angeles.
He was an assistant GM. Dean Lombardi built that team.
It doesn't mean that he wasn't a part of that.
I'm not saying he wasn't, but Dean Lombardi was that guy. He was the guy.
I know that he was the GM, but at the same time, too, wouldn't you think in the back of your head, wait a minute, though. Yes, Dean Lombardi was the GM, but Ron Hextall was his understudy, and pretty much at the end of the day, I would like to see the same thing happen in Los Angeles that happened here. Who better than to do that than to be someone who was understudy of Dean Lombardi, who wound up winning 2 Stanley Cups with the prospects that they had?
It's been 4 years.
Yes, now it has been. But the thing about that is that it was well, to be fair, though, I don't think they necessarily restocked their team as much as they should have, which I think cost them.
No, the Kings, they stocked up. They didn't really stock up their AHL team. They stocked their NHL team.
Yes, I get that.
They put Tanner Pearson. They got Jeff Carter. They got Mike Richards, Anze Kopitar, who I'm not sure 100% if he's a Dean Lombardi guy. But Dean Lombardi brought all those guys together. Look, he did a good. This is going to be a complete Sam Hinkie job for the Flyers now, because when all these players are ready to come up, who's going to be responsible for bringing those players in? It's going to be Ron Hextall. But Ron Hextall also signed guys like Dale Weiss to an immovable contract.
Yes, but to be fair, though, I think that was just to fill a hole. It wasn't really for any other reason.
If it was to fill a hole, they wouldn't give him $4.25 million a year. That's ridiculous for a guy who scored 20 goals once in his career.
At the end of the day,
he's got 3 as a Flyer, I think, total.
At the end of the day, though, his contract will be up before you know it, and we'll forget all about his existence on the team.
And that's the other thing, too, is he put himself in a position where he's got guys that are ready to come up. But because of guys like Dale Weiss, guys that he signed, these guys are in a logjam.
But for now, they were. But also, too, it was also deals that Holmgren had signed off to. And there was a lot more that Holmgren did wrong than what Hexie ever did. Hexie, okay,
I agree.
That's one bad deal he made on Dale Weiss. That's the only thing. Look at everything Holmgren did wrong. Between firing Laviolette after 5 seconds into a season, getting Vinny Lecavalier and having him basically just be a body, going out and getting R.J. Umberger, who didn't do shit because it was well past his prime. He wouldn't re-sign Simon
Well, it's the only way he can get Hartnell off the roster, because they traded Hartnell for R.J. Umberger.
Well, Hexie made that move,
right?
Which was fine because really, at the end of the day, Hartnell was taking a spot. And at the same time,
that's all most of these guys are doing.
But again, though, look at the team we were gonna have. At some point they were gonna come up. They weren't gonna stay down forever. I mean, that's the thing. I think a lot of people want the immediate gratification. It wasn't everybody that immediately went down to the AHL team. Not everybody sat in the Phantoms forever. Look at guys like Provorov. They came up immediately. Konechny came up, I think, after just a year in the Phantoms. It wasn't everybody. Nolan Patrick was picked at number 2 when he started on the team. He didn't go down to the AHL team. So it wasn't everybody. It was just the guys he felt necessarily needed to get more maturation, more development. And Carter Hart is one of those guys, by the way, because right now he is.
Agreed.
Yeah, that's my point. Like, he didn't want to immediately thrust these young kids into the spotlight when they were not ready for it, which a lot of teams are way too guilty of. When they just get these young guys, they say, okay, let's go. They are our top draft pick. Let's pull them out there and let's see what they got. And a lot of teams make that mistake, and that kid's not ready for it. And then he regresses, and they wonder, well, this kid's a bust. Like, no, he's not, because you didn't have him develop. That was the problem. And if you don't have enough established veterans, which the Flyers did not at that time, because you got rid of Mike Richards, Jeff Carter, which honestly, what would they teach them besides how to, snort blow off of a hooker's ass? But on top
teach them how to win a cup too.
Who? Sorry, I was reading some of these comments. My bad.
Thanks.
You know what? I'll give you one anyway.
Thanks.
But nonetheless, with that, you also, Chris Pronger wasn't around, so you didn't have a defensive guy to look at, too, and to say these things. All of those wound up being the case of, okay, well, what established veterans do we have? We only have Claude Giroux, who was part of the 2010 team. He's the last member of that team. And also you have Jake Voracek. That's pretty much it. You don't have anybody else.
All right, so here's my question to you then. When the Flyers struggle, what do you think as a GM Ron Hextall should do? Just sit there and just let him continue to fucking lose like he has? No, you make roster moves. You make adjustments. What did he do?
He kept calling people up left and right, trying to see what the fuck they could contribute something to the team at the end of the day. It wasn't like he wasn't calling people up from the Phantoms and giving them a run. He was. And that's the other thing, too. It's just like, yes, I understand that the frustration's on high. I hated it, too. But I was preaching patience because you know what? It's more of what are we going to see next season and a couple years from now than what we're going to see in the immediate future. The immediate future right now, the Flyers are still not there yet. Even if they were doing well, they would still probably be a bubble team at the end of the day. And we all know that. We can't sit here and say that the team would have made a play for the division like they did last year, which was only for a cup of coffee anyway.
Well, sometimes the thing is, though, mid-season you have to try to make some moves, and that's minimal.
That's my point.
It was only inside the system, though. That's the problem. I mean, basing off of what the Penguins have done, and believe me, I wasn't the happiest person when it happened, but getting Tanner Pearson for Carl Hagelin, I was very pissed off about. But Pearson, since he's been with Pittsburgh, has already scored 4 goals for us, which is more than what Hagelin has had all season.
And Hagelin's hurt now.
Yeah, so I mean, it's benefited us. But that's the thing, though. You got to make some kind of change. I mean, we were at a point where we were dead last. I mean, it was looking bad. But I feel like a lot of these guys are getting a spark. Like, oh shit, this could be me next.
It's a lot of, and Ron Hextall preached patience too much. 2 years in, you build your team. Year 3, you start taking risks with the young guys. See what you have. Don't bring in guys like fucking Dale Weiss. Stop that bullshit. Bring these guys up. See what you have. Morgan Frost posted almost 150 points in junior hockey. 150 points.
He got a shot on the Flyers.
When?
This year.
When? Training camp?
Well, no, he was in the regular season.
No, he wasn't.
For
Morgan Frost has not played on the roster yet. Morgan Frost was sent down during training camp. Mikhail Vorobiev got a shot. Odub whatever the hell his name is.
Ob
Cabell. He got a shot. I haven't seen Morgan Frost yet. Morgan Frost is going to be one hell of a player. Why is he not on this roster?
Well, again, also, point being is that he does have a lot of talent down there. He wanted to also bring them up and give them shots on the Flyers. It wasn't just Frost. It was also guys like Ob Cabell who had actually been there longer. So he wanted to see, okay, this guy's been in the system for a little bit. Let's see what he's got and bring him up on the team. They had brought up Goldburn, too, for the same reason.
Goldburn, he's useless, too. He's fucking useless. All he is a hitter.
Well, okay, we know that now. We needed to see him.
We knew that 2 years ago when he came up, when he made his NHL debut.
I don't even remember that day, honestly.
He was playing the Blues. He made his NHL debut because everyone made a big deal because Brayden Schenn was coming home.
Oh.
All he is, he's a hitter. He's a physical player. He's useless. Mm-hmm. It's not his type of league anymore.
Well, that's fine.
You need guys like Morgan. You need Morgan Frost, Wade Allison, who was a steal in the draft. I don't know how he hasn't gotten a shot yet. Like, where are these guys? You have guys that are plugging up the holes, and Ron Hextall's doing nothing to make sure these guys get a shot.
But that's the other thing, too. Also,
too much patience. You got to take a risk at some point.
But here's the other thing, too. What's to say that he wouldn't have made a move? What's to say that he wouldn't have made a trade close to the trade deadline? What's to say that? What is to say that at the trade deadline he wasn't willing to offer something to another team? Like I've been saying before, you do part ways with a prospect. You don't want to part ways with him, one of them, and you throw in a Wayne Simmons. And I would love to see if they would take an Andrew McDonald. They wouldn't. But if you can manage to get rid of any of them, and you bring in that veteran D-man that you've been needing for so fucking long to help develop the young talent on the back end, you could have done a move like that at the trade deadline. What's to say he wouldn't have done that at the end of the day?
He did a move at the trade deadline last year that nobody liked.
Well, okay, but that was different because the Flyers were competing at that time. It wasn't exactly like he was, okay, well, we're in a shit spot right now.
They're not even in a shit spot now.
But that's my point, though.
That's the thing. I mean, realistically, the East is in the Metro. I mean, you're 8 points out of third place.
And that's my point, though, too. Also, our division is kind of it's falling
very,
flat on its ass right now.
It's very mediocre.
Yeah, it's
pretty
bad.
You look at the Atlantic right now, and you see the top players. I mean, I think everybody actually in the Metro wouldn't even be a wild card if it wasn't for our own division. That's how bad we are. I mean, the fact that Buffalo's kicking ass right now.
11-game win streak going there tonight.
Montreal's been killing it. I mean, they're two teams that are in the wild card. I mean, Boston's been shaky, but we knew what Toronto was going to be once they got Tavares, and they're fucking killing it. Tampa Bay is doing great, and they got Domingo or whatever the hell his name is playing goalie. So, I mean, they're doing great, and then you look at the Metro, and it's like, holy crap, they suck.
When you think about it, too, and it's weird because you look at all the teams in there, you're thinking, like, why are the Penguins not doing so well? Why are young and up-and-coming teams like the Flyers not doing so well? Why are established teams like Capitals struggling? Yeah. What is going on here?
The biggest thing with the Penguins has been goaltending. I mean, it's been very inconsistent.
I hear that.
Believe me.
Injuries.
Yeah. It's just – another thing that I feel that hasn't helped either is the fact that, once we traded Connor Sheary away, that hurt a lot. And I'm seeing that now. And Sheary's been playing great with Buffalo as well. So, I mean, that's been one of our biggest losses.
Buffalo's been getting a lot of stuff, but real quick, I want to get to some of these comments.
Go
just to
ahead.
roll on.
Go ahead.
David Rasco, let's go Ducks. Beat Tampa Bay and Florida. 2 huge
Hey,
wins
Rasco.
for the Ducks.
Yeah, that's huge.
Dave, how you doing, bud? Papa Klinkoff says, hey, guys, what's up?
What up?
Hey.
Brian Miller wants you to calm
Hey.
down.
He's in Florida too. Have fun out in Florida, by the way.
Oh,
Jeez.
I need a vacation. Why don't you invite
Yeah.
me?
I wish I had to take another one.
Greg
Damn
Malakovic, Maddie coming in hot. Let's go. Brian Altry, think he's mad. David Rasco, nice job, Maddie. Great job. I'm proud of you. Not exactly sure what that means, but
I'll take it. Thank you.
I think his anger towards
Michael Chromiak, hey fellas, I think Quinville and Ron Francis are names to look out for. The only problem with Ron Francis is he's still under contract with Carolina.
Not only that too, he's kind of has the same attitude as Hexie. He wanted to be patient with the Carolina Hurricanes too.
And then he sold everything.
Well, yes, but that was after he realized that the team wasn't going to do shit.
Brian Miller, so over the top. Yeah, well, we like to be dramatic here. Mike Parker says fire. Frank Vespi, hey yo, sorry to bother you at work. You know what? Go hot, Matty. Gritty for GM. Joe Thornton sucks. David Raska continues to say, Chrome, I want Quinville to Anaheim. Guess what? Quinville will be a Flyer. He goes on to say, Brian Daly, are you serious? That's a great move to piss off Matty, referring to Andrew McDonald. Not at that time, Dave. I thought a chair was going to get thrown. Greg Malakovic.
If I didn't like him, yes. All right. If I hated his guts, yes.
I
but
feared for him. That's
don't,
why I hid under the
so
table.
I don't. Yeah, he's a Penguins fan, but you know what? He's a nice guy, so I can overlook
We're
that.
not all
one.
bad. I mean,
Yeah, I can.
it's like all Flyers
yeah,
fans. They aren't all
yeah.
bad.
all
I
bad.
mean,
See, if he
I
wa-
respect
now,
some.
Now, even if I did like him and he was a Devils fan, this is a totally
Yeah.
different story then.
Then
you
he's
know?
throwing chairs.
Yeah.
Greg Malakovic, I definitely agree, though, and thought that Hexie was the wrong guy to go, at least at this time. Frank Vespi, Hextall. I thought you said Hextall. Greg goes
they
on to
sound
say,
familiar. That's why
They do.
When I
They-
texted you, when you texted me that day, I was like, oh, Hextall left.
I was in the middle of the gym. I was in the middle of a bicep workout, and I got an alert on my phone. Ron Hextall let go. I'm like, ooh.
Yeah, and I thought it was a coach at first, and I was like, no, it's Hextall, not Hextall.
That's what I got from a few people.
It's very easy to get mixed up.
But that's what I got from a few people that I texted, like, oh, Hextall get fired? You misspelled it. I'm like, no. The GM, Ron Hextall, I spelled it right.
Well, it doesn't really matter anyway because Hackstool's going to be gone by the end of this year, so
I
it doesn't
don't
not
know.
really matter.
I really
at
don't
all.
think we're making the end of the year. I think we're making the end of the month, maybe. Not this
Maybe.
month, but
Depends.
maybe
It depends on when the GM comes in,
Yeah.
And who the GM is.
and
but,
we'll talk about candidates in a little bit.
Yeah.
Greg Malakovic, I'm going to go with Stevie Y, referring to our poll question, which is, who's going to be the Flyers' next GM? I'll take that touchdown. Thank you very much.
By the way, everybody's cheering that the Saints just scored on the Dallas Cowboys.
Who is that?
I don't
Naturally.
know who that is. Is that Traquan Smith?
Nah, Smith is 10,
Some probably no-name guy that he likes to throw to.
probably.
I'm going to go with Stevie Y just as a player, or just because I was such a fan of as a player. He was so good, and I'll get into details on why I voted for Steve Yzerman myself.
Oh, I did as well.
Yeah.
Just saying. Just throwing it out there.
David Raska says same thing earlier. Tom Arnone, what's up, boys? Would love to see Steve Yzerman. Mike Parker, I'm voting for the captain. Frank Vespi, I'm not going to read that one. Anyone got gasoline to add to the fire? Greg Malakovic, is Quinville truly the best answer at head coach? I mean, this team isn't nearly as loaded as the Blackhawks team were, and in reality, he was just fired himself. So, is he truly the answer, or just another retread?
Now that Hackstall's probably going to get the axe at some point,
Yeah.
at this point, yeah, you might as well go with the best coach that's out there, and Joe Quimbl's the best one out there
But the
right
thing
now.
is, though, at first I kind of, for you guys, I would have figured I would have been a good guy to get. But look at all the talent he had out there.
The Flyers have the talent. They just need to bring it up.
Yeah.
They need to put better guys around Giroux so he can actually be a better captain. They need to get rid of Andrew McDonald, Dale Weiss.
just bad
who the
contracts.
hell?
I mean,
yeah.
that's pretty much it because, honestly, Yori Laterre is a healthy scratch every night. So he's
Sabre's
not even
streak
gonna
is
be
over,
around.
apparently.
Oh, really?
Yep.
They lose.
Poor
guys.
Apparently. Well, that's usually what happens when a streak ends. But anyway, Dan Shyrock Jr., are you really not looking at the value Hextall gave the
5-4, they lost against Tampa Bay.
Love you, Mikey. Are you really not looking at the value Hextall gave the Flyers? With cap coming up, all GMs make shitty moves. I agree to that, but at the same time, he's been here for 3 years. You got to start taking risks with some of these prospects you bring in. Steve Krasowski says, "Hi guys, the Flyers are falling apart. Hire Quenneville." Seems to be a popular name thrown around here
now
these days.
it's more possible now than it ever was. Now that Hexy's gone.
Yep, Adrian Barrett. Hextall was the first person who wasn't the first person I thought who should go, but he's not blameless either. I have more of an issue with Hextall's inactions than actions. I get it. Greg Milakovic. Did someone say hookers? Blow? Yeah, Greggy, we're having a party down here, bro.
Just gotta get Jeff Carter and Mike Richardson
I don't
here,
condone
and
any
it'll all
of
be good.
I don't condone any of
Chrome,
that.
I love Geisman. I think it's going to be Ron Francis. The only problem with that, Chrome, is Ron Francis is still under contract.
He is, but
So
what's to say that
he has to get his contract terminated in order for him to come here.
he could? I mean, it's not
He
out of the
could.
realm of possibilities.
He could, but what's a better situation right now?
We'll talk more about candidates though in a minute.
Once again, Dave Raska said the same thing. He also informs us that the streak is over for the Sabres.
Yeah, what a shame.
Brian Attard, total impatient disaster move for the Flyers. Best farm system, and they never bottomed out. Ownership didn't let Hextall move out. G, V, or G? Drew, Voracek, or Wayne Simmons.
I will agree on the Simmons part. We could have moved Simmons, and we should have moved Simmons at some point.
Drew, you have no
You cannot
replacement
move,
for Drew.
Yeah, you can't move Drew.
No, absolutely
You
not.
cannot
would be
move Drew.
insane.
You can even move Jake, but you have to have somebody ready to take that spot on the first
Well,
line
the only
with him.
problem is Voracek's contract.
That's the only difficult
$8 million.
part.
No
Yeah,
one's
I was
going to
gonna
want
say
to pay
$8 or
that, to be
$9
honest.
million.
Yeah,
$1
it's
a
going to be
year.
too much money right now for that. But still, point is, though, out of the two...
If.
yeah.
Chrome.
yeah.
I mean, listen, there were moves to be made. There are still moves to be made. And listen, I give Hextall all the respect in the world. He has a job that I will love to have. But let's be real. He was too patient.
I'll take his page.
Too patient.
That's the thing, though.
You
It's
have
like-
talent. You know the talent's down there.
Yeah, but that's the thing, though. These guys were going to come in, and he was slowly starting to integrate them back, getting them into the system. He was slowly bringing them up. It wasn't his fault that all of the people that were up there on the team already had these long contracts. Yeah, again, he did sign the Dale Weiss one big deal. What? One move, one bad move, and everybody's got to fucking smack his ass for it. Like, seriously, it's not the end of the fucking world. You know, like.
Sometimes you just got to throw him into the fire and see what happens.
But
This is what you did with Nolan Patrick, TK, and Provorov. Why not do it with a guy like Morgan Frost?
that's
who
the thing, though.
you got at a fucking value.
Of course. But again, though, it's like immediately saying, though, that we have to bring him up right the fuck down. He had so much young age to go through. It's like saying, oh, okay, the guy's undersized. He'll probably get the shit kicked out of him the moment he comes up in the NHL, but he scored 120 points in junior hockey. He has to come up now. It's like, whoa, wait. If he's facing NHL-sized guys and he is not at their level,
Do me a favor,
yet,
real
I'm
quick.
looking at it right
don't
now.
do that. Don't do that.
It was 9.4 million. So annually, it's 2.3.
For what?
For Dale Weiss.
For Dale Weiss?
Yeah. How do you spell Yuri?
Go to Roto World. That's probably the best
Are you-
website to use for that.
Are you talking Laterra?
Yeah.
Matt Furl said, not sure where you got 4.25 for Weiss. Maybe you're thinking Laterra. I'm actually glad we have Weiss this year, but he's been the most consistent outside of G.
I mean, he has been really helpful in the third line.
Roto World really breaks it down.
How do you spell? Oh my God! How the hell do you spell his first name?
Jori.
Okay. And Laterra.
It is
L-E-T-H.
Lehtera.
All right, guys. So, Brodo over here has got some YouTubers. Do we have all of Facebook?
We got a couple more, but
Couple
go to
more?
YouTube
Okay.
for right now.
So Bryce Blackwell chimes in saying, "Yo, what's up, guys?" He says, "Glad the Flyers are cleaning house. Expect Hextall should have stayed." Oh, he said, "Except Hextall should have stayed." He says, "Paul and all of the other old guys have to go. Fresh blood, new outlook." And then he loved your rant. He said, "Beautiful rant."
Thank you.
4.7 cap hit.
Did you find the contract?
That's hard.
Yeah,
how
Dale
bad
Weiss
is
has a 4.7 cap hit.
Laterra has a 4.7.
Oh, that's Laterra.
Yeah.
So who?
It looks like Dale Weiss a little bit in that picture, doesn't he?
No. But
Oh, yes, he does. Stop it.
And
Yeah.
then he went
He's got
on to
that same
say,
nose.
I love this team, but I'm absolutely pissed. And then VHS Queen says, what a time for the Flyers. In with them through the good and bad. Let's go Flyers still.
Yeah, I mean, obviously,
listen,
you
all
don't
this
jump
is-
shit,
Dale
but I
Weiss
mean,
is captain.
damn, I
He's
like just
2.35.
wow. Out of all the
either
decisions
way,
that needed
you're
to be
swallowing up
made,
almost
this
$7
was the
million
decision that was made. You know, like there were so
Maybe
many
I did.
other choices to go. There were so many other routes you could have taken. Like, all right, so what? Hextall was the coach. Fine. Guess what? It is what it is. It's not like he wasn't developing the talent. He was.
Dale Weiss
So
has
that
a-
shouldn't really be a big fucking issue in the first place. It was his job to develop the talent, and we still had a pretty damn young team on top of it that is still in transition to becoming that really spectacular team that we want them to be. Every single time this argument came up about Fire Hextall, was like he was developing the young talent. That is not a quick process. It doesn't happen over fucking night. And I guarantee you this is the same argument him and fucking Holmgren had every goddamn night. Because Holmgren's a fucking blithering idiot. By God, the man looks like a fucking moron. Because he probably is a fucking moron. The guy couldn't coach the Flyers. The guy couldn't be the GM of the Flyers. And the guy sure as fuck can't be the president of the Flyers. Somehow, incompetency gets rewarded in Philadelphia. I don't know how this is fucking possible. As I guarantee you, in any other goddamn city, Paul Holmgren would have been out on his ass a long fucking time ago. But no, they stayed loyal to him. They stayed loyal to the dumb prick. I don't know how it fucking happens.
If you had to guess how many points Dale Weiss has in his time here in Philly, what would you guess?
It's probably not a lot.
I'd say
And-
probably around 40 to 50 points.
You'd be pushing it big time. He has a solid 29.
Oh, wow.
So
Yeah,
he
that's-
played
okay.
64 games. I mean, he did only play 46 games in 2017, but 2016 he played 64, and yeah, he had a grand total of 15 points then, 8 points
I love
in
how
17.
they keep bringing up the one player that I
and
agree
6 points.
was a bad decision.
We're just saying that. We're just
No, it's because Mike or Matt wanted to. He brought it up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So all right. So
But even Laterra, you have a contract for a healthy scratch that's almost a $5 million cap hit. Which
Yeah,
is,
but to be fair, that was to open up a spot and get rid of Braden Shen, who they eventually realized, okay, Shen's not working out here. We got to open that up. And with him gone, Nolan Patrick was able to be on this team.
But the
So
thing is, though,
I will take that any day.
But any other team, though, are you paying $5 million a year for Laterra?
No, of course not. But that's the thing.
That's the problem.
But that's the hey. listen.
I understand. No, I understand where you're going at. You bring a young talent in like that, but I mean, it's just
It's not
Yeah.
ideal, and it's not, but it's not an exact
Yeah.
science. If that's the only player you could pretty much, if you got to exchange it and you got to make that move, and you have no choice, and you got to get Nolan Patrick on this team, so be it.
Yeah.
Shen's got to go. He's taking that spot. That's the way it is. And I don't think Shen's complaining right now being on St. Louis. I mean, yeah, St.
well,
Louis
they're
isn't-
playing bad.
They're playing bad,
they're
but
not that
Braden
great.
Shen hasn't been that bad.
Well,
for
yeah,
him.
no,
So
since-
I
I
mean,
mean,
he's one of their high points.
His first year at Erie had what, like 25, 30 goals.
So there you
So-
go.
all right, I want to jump back to more of these comments here. We got a few more rolling in. Chrome says, I feel like Hextall is Ed Wade, great at evaluating young talent, but couldn't put the right pieces together on the big roster. And I agree to that 100%. I think that's really what led to his firing. Matt, I already got yours. Brian Attard, what's the point of keeping Giroux if they're not going to really contend while he's around? Hard rumor of a Giroux for Nylander. That Hextall got, but higher ups next.
Wow.
I would be okay with that one, but
Wow.
I don't see. The thing is, though, I can't see the Flyers trading Giroux. I mean,
I mean, though, if
If
Hexy
that-
was willing to part ways with him and it looked like he got that deal done, then I'm like, damn, that's right up Holmgren's alley. I'm surprised the dumb shit didn't fucking prove that. God damn. Because, Holmgren, you are fucking inept. But anyway. Have I told you already? Fuck you, Holmgren. Fuck you, Holmgren. Just feels good saying that, honestly. Really feels good. Fuck you, Holmgren. All right,
okay.
continue.
So anyway, so much anger today.
Yes.
Chrome goes on to say, gonna take someone else to fit the right veterans with the young kids. Hextall is Hextall's guy. We can't ignore that reflection of his evaluation abilities. Alexander Prokopitz, I hope I said your name right, dude. Sup, bro beans? Wally,
What?
I'm not even going to attempt your last name, brother. I apologize. Should the Flyers trade for Nylander?
Well, now that that's come up, I mean, if you could get William Nylander, I'd be perfectly fine with that. I mean, it'd be a great young talent to add to the roster on top of it,
Rogachenko.
too.
Rogachenko. I hope that's right, Wally.
And-
Rogachenko. I'm gonna go with that. I hope we said it right.
All right, but I would say if you can get him, why not? It depends on what you're trading for him, really, at the end of the day. I mean, if
That's tough.
the Giroux trade's a difficult one to sell, and I will agree on that one.
You're literally taking
But-
your best player off your
Yeah.
team.
So I will say that one's
For
a
a
tough
guy that-
sell.
It's a heart and soul, and you don't
The-
have somebody to take
The
that
fact
place.
the fact that Holmgren didn't greenlight that is shocking me anyway, because Holmgren's not afraid to trade heart and soul. He never has been, because he's a piece of shit. But anyway,
That's brutal. Oh, I got
Alexander
the chills.
says, Nylander trade is not going to happen. I think we need a great goalie. Patience on that one, Alexander, man. He's coming.
Listen, I think that the thing is though, you have to solidify the defense first.
You
and
do.
You can't bring it up considering. Look at the veteran goaltenders that you have on the team now, and they look like shit.
They do.
Stolars look like shit the other night. Okay, I mean it's just like Picard, whoever the hell he is.
He's
I
not
mean,
even a
Jesus
Flyer anymore. He got
Christ.
picked up by Arizona.
Did he? Good. I mean, he did hard. I mean, I liked his
It
time in
doesn't
Philly
even
because
really
he lost
matter.
almost every game he started. But I mean, it's
well,
just,
he won a few, but
Yeah.
you're right on the most
Yeah,
part.
I mean,
Yeah.
his average goals allowed was like 5 or 6.
But,
so
but again, though, it's not really all his fault. I mean, yeah, some
no,
of
but
them are.
But that's what I'm saying. Though
Still,
the defense
you know?
is just the defense has been bad, and to bring up a young guy like that, you have to have some
No.
kind of defense in front of
No.
him.
No,
And
no, no,
it's
no, no.
just you're going to run him out of town sooner than he should
It'll
be.
break his confidence.
Now,
It's
here's
gonna
the
destroy
thing.
him.
Here's the thing. This
As
is
much as he wants to
now-
be up here.
Yeah.
moving into this position of the new GM. That is, in my opinion, what should be priority one with a fucking bullet. Shouldn't be firing Hextall. I will say it again. Should not be firing Hextall. I don't give a fuck whether he was a Hextall guy or not. I don't give a shit. He's my coach. What I'm going to focus on is I'm going to work out a trade before the deadline. Somewhere down the line, it's going to get me a legitimate fucking defensive man to put on the fucking back end, because a continuing year of this sloppy fucking defense and bad special teams will pretty much be the ultimate downfall for the Flyers. And
Which hopefully that comes to an end with Gord Murphy being fired.
well, Gord Murphy, yes, he getting fired was almost inevitable, I think, as well as Hextall. I mean, I hate to say it, with Hexy being gone, Hextall's going to be gone. But at the same time, too, Gord Murphy, I think he was going to get fired no matter what. Because, really, it was in close consideration with
You good over
Hextall.
there?
So, honestly, I think
All right.
Hack wasn't really a big fan of Gord either. Honestly. I don't.
No, I mean, let's be honest here. Provorov and Ghost are happy he's gone. They didn't see eye to eye with Gord Murphy,
Well,
so
then that would
hopefully
make
their
sense.
play is going to pick up.
Hopefully.
But a couple more comments here. Matt Furley, Frost is 19. Not many teenagers come in and make an impact.
There you go.
You can usually break a player by...
Crosby. No.
Hold on.
Once in a lifetime
Stop it.
player. Okay.
Where did I leave off? You can usually break a player by doing that. I'm fine with Frost staying in the juniors in AHL next year, NHL the following year. Here's the thing. There's been a few players, and yeah, they're game changers. And I don't think Morgan Frost is a game changer, but I think he can be a superstar in this league where, you know, you have Patrick Laine came in as... So you have guys like Patrick Laine, Austin
Offside.
Matthews.
I told you there was going to be something on the defense. I'm sorry, but go ahead.
You know what? I'm done. I'm just going to move on to the next comment.
This guy, again, he sucks.
Wally Verchenko, we need help. That's definitely for sure. James Wilder fired the coach. Winnipeg fired the coach. Brought in to bring up young talent, and just so happens the next guy took them to the next step. I think it's what the Flyers need. I agree with James. I mean, for the most part, but you know,
What did he say, the Flyers
you
suck?
need a competent. Huh?
What did he say?
He didn't say. He said they need a coach to take the next step.
Oh, okay, yeah, that too.
You're an asshole. and I think, you know what, you need to get the GM in place first. And a lot of people will disagree with that, but that's my philosophy. I think the candidates that we'll talk about later, I think can more than fill the job.
We said Wally's name right.
Yes. Cool. All right. He also said he likes Giroux. No way, no how. And I'm assuming he's referring to the Nylander trade, Giroux for Nylander. And he also goes on to say that he's glad that JVR is back. He might be the only one. He's not really producing right now. And then he goes on to say, stupid shit keeps popping up on me. If there was a goalie available for trade, who would you want? Who would you trade for? I wouldn't trade for anybody. Just ride what you have right now.
No. I would trade for a defensive veteran. That's who I would be trading for at this current time. I wouldn't be trading for a goalie because we have a goalie. He just needs to develop.
Alexander Prokopit says, and this is kind of interesting. I'm not necessarily sure I believe it. Quick might be going on waivers.
Wait a minute. Hold on.
way.
Wait a minute. Johnny Quick, the Johnny Quick who led the Los Angeles Kings to 2 Stanley Cups.
Yep.
No, that ain't.
No,
That can't
that
be
can't
happening.
possibly be true. Absolutely
There's no
not.
way. There's absolutely
As
no
Donald
way.
Trump would say, that's fake news, but he's lying when he says that. This is actual fake news. No way in hell that's true. No way.
I can't. I'm sorry, dude. I can't believe that. Tom Smith, Gord Murphy was a mediocre defenseman, so you're only going to be as good as the one teaching you.
That's fine.
And I agree with that.
I honestly was not a fan of Gordon Murphy anyway, so him going, I don't really disagree with that decision. They did get rid of Chris Pryor, which was no surprise because
They're cleaning house.
yeah, and he's a Hextall guy. So anybody that is remotely even twinging at being a Hextall guy is not going to get a shot on this team and is not going to even stay on this team. So again, Hextall, the clock is running down. But anyway,
Wally goes on to say, Frost is the perfect hockey name.
Absolutely.
it is.
think he's-
It's an
pretty
awesome
solid
hockey name.
Absolutely.
Yes, we can all agree on that. Yes.
And Alexander says, I read an article today. I told him to send me the link because I definitely want to read that.
Yeah.
I
no,
really
I
want to
mean,
know if Johnny Quick is really going down on waivers. I have to know if the
I
King-
want to know because Jesus Christ,
It's
the Penguins need to be making a call.
Well, he's coming. Well, hold on. Listen, time out. He's probably going on waivers because he's probably going on a rehab assignment. And he can't get sent down to AHL without going through waivers. So it's probably a waivers for rehab.
But that doesn't count the same as going down to the AHL.
No, it doesn't count the same. But he has to go down to the AHL
Well,
because it's a
it's
rehab
not
assignment.
like he has
Oh,
a two-way
okay.
contract kind of thing. So it's like,
Giroux has a no movement clause and said last year I'm not going anywhere. And that's from Matt Furl, and I agree with that 100%.
yeah, no,
He shouldn't
no,
wanna
no.
go anywhere.
No. Giroux needs to
He's
stay
only
on
30
this
years
team.
old.
And only that, too. Giroux just came off of 100 points last year. I mean, come on. Like, yeah. I hate that. I hate the fact that everybody still harks on Giroux. It's like, what is so wrong with Giroux? Like,
I don't think it's
yes,
necessarily
he
that they're
can-
harking on him and his abilities. I think they're harking on him because you can get the most for him because of his value
I get that, but you could do
and
this,
his 600 points in the last 7 years.
But you could do the same thing with.
It is
You could go
crazy.
get a Wayne Simmons
Right
and trade-
behind Crosby.
But that's the thing, though.
well, I
Giroux-
think he has more than Crosby because of all of Crosby's concussions and.
Crosby, I think, was floating around like 650, 700 at that point, and then Drew was right behind him at like 600.
Yeah, no, I mean,
Borderline
I know
600.
Giroux's been.
But
right
that's-
on his. I know. I
Ooh.
think since he's been in the league, he's had the most points in the league since he's been in here. So, I mean, it's the guy scores 100 points a year. I don't think you could take that off of a team.
I kind of want to go live with this right now.
Yeah.
Just Brodo's
Just
reaction
Brodo. Just
to
sit
this
there and
game.
just Brodo's reaction to this game.
Yeah, that was a head-to-head.
By the way,
Yeah,
just
they didn't call one earlier either.
just
that would have been the third penalty in a row on third down for the Cowboys.
By the way, and I know nothing about football,
Kamara
but that
threw the
was
football.
illegal contact. But anyway, what I'm going to say, though, is here's the funny part, though, folks.
Then he got up
The-
all gingerly.
There's the funny part. The Eagles aren't even playing.
What was that?
That's the funny part.
Ooh, that was close.
First of all, that's great because that's on the goal line.
Yeah, that's a safety. Here
Bro,
it is.
our sign guy's about to go into spasms. We may not have one for the
It's good
show.
to have our sign guy
Yeah.
back. I don't think you were here for the last show, huh, sign guy?
No.
Wally Richenko wants to know who is the best defenseman available and what would the Flyers have to give up to get them?
Well, that's the real question. Okay, so we got to think which ones can we get and what will not kill us to get. That's the big problem. Because
it's not a matter of who's available. Anybody can be available for the right price.
anybody can be for the right price, but it's a question of what is the price. That's the real question.
Well,
that's on it.
you know you're going to have to give up a prospect. I
Which
mean,
is fine. If you give
If it's
up,
the right one.
yes,
You know,
if you give up a prospect, I'm not going to complain. It's like,
No.
hey, listen, we got a lot. You can't keep all of them,
Yeah.
and it sucks that you got to go. But you know what? You got to go when you got to go, and
Yeah.
it's the time. And then if you can package another veteran, get him off the fucking team, you can
I'm
then
not sure
open
it
up
works
another
the same.
spot.
I'm not sure that saying works the same in that situation.
What?
When you gotta go, you gotta go.
But that's the thing, though. You're taking no. But think about it.
I
Think
just
about
let it go.
No. Think about it. Think
I
about
can't let it go.
No.
It just doesn't work.
it. But think about it this way: when you're going, what are you doing? You're dropping shit, or you're taking a piss. Well, guess what? What are you doing when you're trading a player away? The team's basically either pissing or shitting that player out and putting them into another system. It's a little bit more creepier, than you just dumping it into a toilet. But, oh well.
I got you.
It's waste management if you think about
But
it.
you got to be smart with your future, and that's the tough part. I mean, in an exchange, think about it. The Penguins, when they got rid of or when they
At least Wally finds you entertaining.
well, Wally's a good guy. But
Love the sport.
Going to the Phil Kessel trade, I mean, that was a guy we brought in, a savvy veteran that,
I feel
was a
awkward.
40-goal scorer.
What, you don't piss on people?
No, I don't piss on people.
Wait, R. Kelly?
I am not. First of all, don't bring that up because it's a completely fucked up story.
Oh, God, that's a good one.
Because the chick he pissed on was 14 years old.
That was bad. Whew, that
Oh
was
my
really
God.
bad. Didn't he go to jail for that shit,
I
too?
can't deal with
I
this
think he
anymore.
did go to jail for that, but anyway. All I know is that I hate his music, and I think he's basically a piece of shit. But anyway, that's a different story.
So, like I was saying before, I mean, if you want, like, you just got to watch. And it's a guy, Kasperi Kapanen, who's been playing great for Toronto. Was, one of our prospects that we let go in the Phil Kessel trade. I mean, obviously, it worked out for us winning 2 cups.
Thank you.
But the future of the Penguins might be in slight jeopardy in the fact that we have Kessel, who's creeping in on 30, if not at that point already, and getting rid of a guy that's 22, I believe, on Toronto. So, I mean, who's been pretty damn good for them. So, I mean, it's tough.
But that's the thing, though. If we're going into a
But are you going for cups, right? I mean, if you have the team now, you go and do it for now.
With the Penguins, it's a little different because you got Crosby,
Yeah.
the once in a lifetime player.
But the thing is, though, I mean, you have obviously, I wouldn't compare Giroux and Voracek to a Crosby and Malkin.
No,
but they are capable of that kind of talent. I mean, these guys are always in the top 10 for points every single season. So
usually,
you
yeah.
tell me that they're not good enough to be a Stanley Cup team. It's just what they need is a solid. I mean, we're going to keep repeating this. I think goaltending would be fine. I mean, Brian Elliott's proven that he is a good goaltender. It's just he needs a defense in front of him. And
he's not even going to be here come the end of the year.
And that's the thing. I mean, obviously, you wait that out. I mean, you got to wait for Hart. You have to just wait for Hart. I mean, you got to go out. I think by the deadline, I think they will still be. I mean, right now it's bad. It's bad.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing. Like this comment from Matt Furl is actually kind of, I like it. He said, if we're gonna move any prospects, move Sam Morin. Hear him out. His prospect value is higher than it should be, and we have other big body D-men that could be very similar in years down the road, which is very true and it's very accurate. So, I mean, he would be one I'd be willing to move.
I don't have a problem with that. I mean, I like Sam, but you know what? If we gotta send Sammy away, we gotta send Sammy away. And if we can get a veteran D-man back for him, I take that any day of the week because we need one badly.
And as far as the quick on waivers thing goes, it was from Eklund of HockeyBuzz.com. Hearing that, Jonathan Quick is of the Los Angeles Kings going on waivers. King has an up-down relationship with Quick over the last couple of years due to injuries, and the team is in cap trouble next year once Drew Doughty's new contract kicks in. He's got a 5.8 cap hit through 2022-23.
I'd take it.
That's immediately why I looked at
32 years old with a 2.4 goals against and a 9.21 save percentage.
We don't have the space, but I'll make the goddamn room.
That's
Trade
only
away
part of the
Matt
article.
Well, I've heard actually. There's a guy at the I work at a school, so I talk to a lot of people, and
a lot of
he's actually a Flyers fan. He's like, actually no, it wasn't him. It was another guy today.
Well,
he came in and he's like, I heard on the radio that there's possibilities that the Penguins might move Matt Murray. And
oh, boy. I just see it now.
listen,
Matt Murray
it's
becomes
hard
a
to
Flyer.
move a guy that's 23 years old and won 2 Stanley Cups as a rookie. But he's been our worst goalie since then. I mean, let's be real. I mean, he's been the worst goalie on our team.
Would you rather would have kept Fleury, wouldn't you?
Duh. I wish I could. I mean, I wish we could have kept both of them. That's the thing. Obviously, the whole expansion draft killed the Penguins.
It did.
It ultimately killed them. But
so jumping back to Quick real quick. Anyway.
that was like, I'm sorry, but that was a Carson Wentz Houdini move right there. I'm never comparing the two again, but that will look like a Carson Wentz Houdini move, like he did against the Redskins.
Do we have to turn this game off? Do we have
No,
to turn the game
I'm
off?
just saying.
Listen, do we have to turn the game off?
Oh, okay, sorry.
All right, you're in timeout.
Jesus.
You're in timeout, Mikey. Mute
Do you
him.
think Alexander wants to know? Do you think Quick could be a perfect solution for the Flyers?
Absolutely.
No.
What?
I'm saying no.
Wait a minute. Hold
That
on.
defeats the purpose
who-
of Carter Hart and Felix Sandstrom.
Oh, are we talking about Quick?
Yeah.
No, because Quick's going to want a long deal.
He's already on a long deal. He's under contract until 2022-23.
No, I don't like that length. Now, these guys over here,
Oh,
that's a
that's-
different story.
Oh, you overthrew him.
Now-
I've never seen.
What'd I say?
Sorry.
You're timeout.
Tom Smith brings up the perfect point, which relies to this. Brother, might need you to turn that off. Tom Smith, I agree with your comment 110%. A good defense with a decent goalie is all we need. Because your goalie, and I've been preaching this since I've been on the show for what, like 2 years now?
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's been 2 years.
What am I doing
A
with my life?
defense, right? A defense is or a goalie's only as good as your defense. If your defense plays good in front of you, your goalie's going to play better. So, with that being said, I agree with that statement, and it's it's a truth, and it's something that the Flyers need badly. It's a good defense.
Again, that is why I say get a veteran D-man, teach these young guys, get this shit going.
I'm
here.
with you. I'm with you.
That's the most frustrating part of it. Unfortunately, we went and decided to use the cap on JVR, who unfortunately has not been worth a dime of that right now.
Right now. It's
Hopefully,
only November.
But yeah.
It's only November.
Hopefully he'll fix that as the season
Thank
goes along.
you.
I'm not jumping off of the JVR train right now.
Why not? I am.
I'm just
kidding.
Yeah, but I'm just saying. Like
The JVR Express. Geronimo.
I'm just saying, all that money could have tried to go get a D-man, but you know what? It is what it is. Can't really, cry over spilled milk for that.
Yeah, but you know what? There's so many good young defensemen that are getting ready to come up, and we're really sounding like a broken record right now. But a defensive leader is really what this team needs.
They do. So
A little bit more scoring depth.
Yep.
They're not getting enough of that.
No.
And some fucking consistency. Seriously.
But that's the
How do you not commit a penalty against Toronto and still lose 6-0?
Here's the thing. But that may be where
Because they're that damn good. That's the problem.
Toronto. Yeah.
That is true. Toronto is that damn good.
Semantics, Matty.
Yeah. Semantics. All right. Yeah. We'll
Coming from the boss man.
Yeah, we're getting into semantics. All right, anyway. So, with that being said, one thing, though, that I will say is this.
Hold on real quick. Matt Furley says, JVR was another bad deal, I feel. The injury may have me thinking that.
Hold. It's too early to judge that. It's too early.
Well, he said because of the injury that he had.
He did have an injury, and that is a problem, and I do hate that fact that he got hurt very early on.
Wally, you don't want Shea Weber.
No.
He's a big injury problem, too.
No. Shea.
He can't stay healthy. He hasn't played a full year in like 3 years.
When Paul Holmgren signed him to an offer sheet, that's when you wanted Shea Weber. But Shea, he got matched by Nashville, and that actually killed them at the end of the day, oddly enough.
Oh, no, not again.
No, we're not starting that. Don't read it. You're not allowed to read
Like
that.
how I was in timeout, you're not reading our comments.
Nope. You are not. Tom, do not get him started again.
You're not allowed to hear that comment.
You want to hear that, Tom? Rewind the show.
Fuck it. He says, Matty, how you feel about Paulie still keeping his job again?
Stop pegging him on.
I think contempt.
We just calmed him down.
I think contempt for somebody is not a strong enough word that I hold for that man. He came on a television when I went to go get food.
Tom, if you get
in
him
the
riled up, you
restaurant.
got to come down here and calm him down.
Literally, I walked into the restaurant waiting for my food, and who pops up on the screen? It was fucking Holmgren. It took everything in my power not to grab a fucking salt shaker or grab something out of a fucking cooler and just toss it with all my fucking might at the fucking screen, praying that somehow it would slip through the fucking television and hit that fucker dead in between the eyes. And with it, a note that is a giant middle finger on the front and said, "Go get bent, you piece of shit," on the back.
Bent.
That,
Go get bent, you putz.
And that's how Matty feels, Tom.
thank you. It's good. Very therapeutic feeling.
So I tried to find that during the last show because we had a moment for that. I couldn't find it.
Interesting.
The sign guy has his ways, and he will not share them.
He's
Sign
the
guy
word.
trained me. He didn't train
He's
me well
the man
enough.
of one word. Interesting.
Unless it's about a football game going on in the background. Then he's got a lot of things to say.
Damn it.
There's 2 words.
Ooh, you used too many
Ooh.
up there.
So Dougie Hamilton was. I hope I don't say this wrong, and if I do, I really apologize if I offend you. I'm going to assume it's Danielle Boucher. It says Dougie Hamilton was my choice this summer. And Tom Smith goes, now you got him fired up. Tom, he's been fired up since the beginning of the show, my friend.
Dougie would have been great in Philly. I would have loved Dougie.
Well, when he was available, Flyers didn't really have the ability to go
No.
get him because we just didn't have the cap room. Thanks, Holmgren. But anyway.
Oh, my God. I still can't believe that. Completely caught us off guard. Well, me anyway. I didn't know what to do.
What?
When Matty went off, and he just went through the read, said nothing to nobody. Oh, by the way, hey, I'm going to freak out real quick. No. Threw him and said, what the fuck? And then it just went off from there.
By the way.
What are we doing?
No, but I mean,
our sign guy's trying to tell us something.
oh, he's saying we've got 4 minutes, guys.
Okay.
So with that being said, though.
Oh, it went down to 3.
Oh,
Wow,
okay.
great. Time flies, Jesus.
It does, man.
Yeah,
It
minute.
does. It does when you're bitching. But, oh, boy.
You know what? It's making me mad because I can't see the comments coming in. It's
Tom
driving
Arnaud
me
says,
nuts.
we've talked about our hate for Paul for 4 years, me and Matty.
Yes, we did.
Chrome goes,
Yeah, they sit down and
Cincinnati-
have drinks weekly about it.
Cincinnati Holmgren in 2020.
Oh, shit.
Oh, my God.
All I got to do is take out probably one of his hip replacements, and then, there we go.
Perfect
There's a
Holmgren
even
move.
Playing field.
The perfect Holmgren move from Matt Furley. Simmer and Moran for Sutter.
Yeah, that's a Holmgren move, all right. Perfect Holmgren move. You got that down pat, man. Are you sure you're not Paul Holmgren in disguise? I don't know.
He's probably,
I don't know.
he understands his team.
Fumble.
Fumble!
Got away with it.
Excuse you. What
He
are you
looked
doing?
at me. I was just.
That's a lie. What did you do? Excuse you? What are you doing? Where's the remote? We're done here.
We don't have a remote for
Damn
that.
it.
on the computer.
Where's the power button on the computer?
No.
There All right. Well, we're going to go to break so that way, Mikey can think about what he just did. And also,
You're in timeout, mister.
we
Apparently I'm
can
in
start
trouble again.
fetching the candidates
You're gonna
for the GM spot that I still cannot fucking believe is vacant now or in abeyance.
Second
for
half of the
several
show.
days.
Listen.
Yeah.
Listen, second half of the show, we're turning your chair around.
Okay.
You're
The
sitting in
game
a corner.
should be over by then.
So we got Papa Daly right on over here right now.
God, I'm the
dishing
oldest
out
one in
some
I'm the oldest
punishment.
one in the goddamn room, and I gotta act like it.
But anyway,
This isn't what I do.
Hey, Dad.
with that being said, though.
So awkward.
Oh, come on. How's it awkward? He's old enough to be your son.
No.
I would have
I
had
hope
him when I
not.
was 10.
Oh, come on. You would have been able to.
I didn't think I knew what that thing did when I was 10.
All right, we gotta go to break.
What is going on here?
Good. I got him to freak out. All right.
Oh, Jesus
anyway.
Christ.
That just warms my heart every time I do it. All right. So with that being said, we will go get the GM candidates. We'll run them down one by one. We'll see what their credentials are, and we'll see what they could bring to the Flyers if hired and which one is most likely. And we'll also give a quick rundown of the scores that happened today in the NHL. That is on the other side. But first, let's talk to you about Gibson Mayor LLC, your certified public accounts located at 301 Oxford Valley Road in Yardley, PA. Give them a call at 215-369-3300. Tax season is about to be right here, right now, in the present. So be ready, be prepared, and call Gibson Mayor. This is the Hockey Happy Hour on HUDRadio.com. Do not go anywhere, folks. Unless you are on Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook, then please go to the YouTube for the rest on HUDRadio.com for the Hockey Happy Hour. And on YouTube, we will see you right after this. feel like we're in the Matrix. Anyway, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Hockey Happy Hour. I'm Messa City. This is the Penguin loving and also spazzing out Michael Klankoff. Maybe he's buffering, but anyway.
Pretty hype right now.
And
It's a general
over here,
shot.
we also have the Darkwing Brian Daly, who put Mikey in timeout in the last half, if you missed it. And then
He's not allowed to watch the final 2 minutes of this game.
even though it's crucial. Meanwhile,
He's on the field.
behind the board is our sign guy, Mr. Ryan Brodo, who is also watching this game intensely, praying and hoping that the Cowboys shit the bed. Anyway, the Hockey Happy Hour is brought to you by the Sports Outlet for all your sporting news. Okay, it's 703 Black Horse Pike in Glendora, New Jersey. You can give them a call, 856-939-2030. Email them at sportsoutletnj@comcast.net or visit them on the web at www.sportsoutletinc.com.
Wow. I can't talk about it, so.
At least you know what you did, and you're obeying your punishment.
Drew Brees threw an interception!
Oh, God.
That's an
Oh, that's
yeah.
an interception.
Wow.
So
I don't think I've ever seen
Wow.
him mess up like this in a time like
That
that.
was a terrible throw.
you forget, though, they're in Dallas against the Cowboys. You have to throw the game then.
Oh, no, that's
That's a
definitely-
yeah.
That's a pick. Wow.
It never hit the ground. Absolutely. That was a terrible throw by Breeze.
All right. Well, anyway. So
I don't think Brodo's blanked in the last
I think
3
kid.
minutes.
Poor kid.
I think Brodo is questioning a lot of things right now. Oh, poor Brodo. Cut down in the prime of his life. That Cowboys win, it just fucking killed him.
Oh, he ripped the sign.
No! It's the only thing you had going for you.
Oh,
I think we just lost their sign guy.
yeah.
Damn it. No!
It's all right.
We need him for our music.
And also to let us know that it's time to go to break. But
Damn it.
It's all right, though. We will preserve the sign. We'll
Yeah.
protoplaque it and everything, and we'll just put it right behind us for us to always remember the sign guy.
That's all I mean. We still got our
Actually, the
numbers.
good part did survive. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
All right, it's not a complete loss. He just
Hey,
all
it's
right.
like he planned it or something.
All right, he just suffered a flesh wound. It's okay.
It's just a mere flesh wound.
Tis but a flesh wound. It is all right. So with
Just
that,
knock your arms off.
It sounds like a chicken over here.
oh man, if
I've
only
never
his,
seen him so upset.
boy, if only his mic was on right now.
I saw something about his ass. That's about all I heard.
Something about a booth in his ass. I don't know where we want to go with that, but anyway.
I quit.
All right, so why don't I go through the scores here?
Sounds good to me.
Since I'm the only one who's actually caring about hockey right now.
Nah,
That is not
hey, you're the boss.
entirely accurate.
You tell me what to do, okay?
Oh, so now I'm your boss. Every other time, it's like, oh, okay, I don't have to do what you tell me. You're a Flyers fan.
That's how I feel.
True.
Only convenient. Only on convenience am I the boss.
That's
All
not
right,
a-
I see how it is
Is
now.
that not how it should be?
Yeah, I guess. Anyway, on to the scores. So the Boston Bruins successfully defeated the New York Islanders in a shootout. 2-1 the final score. On the other side, we have the Columbus Blue Jackets beating the Minnesota Wild 4-2. We also have the Ottawa Senators putting a 3 spot on the New York Rangers. The Rangers, of course, scored nothing in that game. The Tampa Bay Lightning win a barn burner of a match 5-4 today against the Buffalo Sabres.
Snapping their 11-game win
Yes.
streak.
And the Arizona Coyotes also decided to put up a 3 spot on the Nashville Predators. Predators scored nothing in that.
Ah! Sorry, that's still. How the hell does Anaheim not beat Nashville, but Arizona does?
Oh, you'll figure it out.
Hashtag fire Carlisle. Fuck Hextall. Fire Carlisle. Jesus.
Next up,
Jesus.
The Winnipeg Jets defeating the Chicago Blackhawks, another barn burner here, 6-5, the final score. And two games that are currently in progress. With 16 minutes left in the third period, the Kings and the Oilers are knotted at 2 goals apiece. And in the second period as well, at 17 minutes, are the Las Vegas Golden Knights tied with 1 against the Vancouver Canucks. And that is the scores currently in the NHL.
So Drew Brees just went over to that receiver and talked to him. Do you want to know what he just said?
You suck.
Turn in your playbook. You're not coming to practice on Friday. He said, you're done. I'm going to have you cut.
You're absolutely finito.
You're done. I'm
By the
never
way,
throwing to you again. You're done.
Patrick Laine put up another 2 goals tonight.
He's
just throwing it out there. And Ellers for Winnipeg.
Here's a fun debate. So who made out better, Toronto or Winnipeg, between Austin Matthews and Patrick Laine?
Well,
that's a tough
I think
one.
if you're going pure talent, I think you have to say Toronto. I think Matthews is more of a better all-around guy.
Yeah, but look at the players around them, though, too.
Yeah, but I mean, Laine, I think if you're looking pure, I mean, they both could shoot, but Jesus Christ, Laine scores on like 50% of his shots. So,
especially this week.
Yeah.
That's what, 8 goals or something like that?
No, I think he had 10 goals in the last 4 games because he had 2 games in a row where he had a hat trick, and then he had the 5-goal game.
Yeah.
So
something like that. I know it's a lot.
We actually posted something on our page. I think he's the 4th fastest player to have 100 goals in his career.
4th youngest player to have 100
youngest,
goals.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. He's so good.
Oh,
so good. Flyers need a guy like him. Game changer.
Speaking of what the Flyers need, I believe it's time for us to go through our GM candidates.
See, look at that. I'm getting good at segues.
There you go.
Hey, trained you well. All right, on to our first runner-up here currently for the front-running position, who actually will be interviewed by Paul Holmgren for the vacant GM spot, Chuck Fletcher, who, if that name does sound familiar to those who have a Western Conference team, it should. He was the former GM of the Minnesota Wild for several seasons. His big highlight was that he signed Ryan Suter and Zach Parise to identical 13-year-long contracts that they are still riding on.
Zach
currently
Parise
to this
is.
day.
I'm so
years.
thankful that when the Penguins went to go after Parise, they didn't get him now because Jesus Christ, he sucks. He's just always. It's not that. Yeah, it's not that he sucks.
He's hurt
just
all the time.
always hurt.
Boy, I'll tell you, I think the Devils are real happy that they did not keep him.
No doubt.
I think they're really happy with that one now.
No doubt.
I mean, I like where the Devils are now, but they lost Henrique and Parise. Ugh.
Yeah, that was a tough one on them.
Yeah.
But with that being said, though, Fletcher basically is one of the candidates right here. And looking through, it would be interesting to see how he does fit into the Flyers system. Notables to say here. He was one of the guys who he has had stability in net, which is true for the most part. He had Backstrom for a period of time. Then he went and got Devin Dubnyk, who did prove that he was capable of being a starter. And they also did produce a 100-point season in Fletcher's last 4 years with the Minnesota Wild. However, though, when it comes to playoffs, the team didn't really get all that far. It got as far as the second round, never any further.
Yeah, I mean, he's put together a good team. I like him as a candidate for the Flyers, but he's not my guy.
Yeah, and also keep in mind, too, one other thing that he should be given a bit of a negative point for, he did lose Alex Tuch and Eric Howla to the Las Vegas Golden Knights. So, don't know about that one.
Tuch has been playing great.
Yeah, that's a tough loss when you're talking about, somebody like that. But he is one of the front runners currently for the GM spot. What do you guys think?
Not a bad option. He's not a bad option at all. He did a good job building that Minnesota Wild team. It's a shame his head coach has a curse upon him and just can't get deep in the playoffs. He can get he's a great regular season coach. He gets his team wins. He gets the offense going. They score goals, lots of goals. When it comes to playoff time, Bruce Boudreau can't win in the playoffs.
No, you're right.
He's always been like that. He's just never been
like that in Washington. He was like that in Anaheim. He continues to be that way in Minnesota.
Now, oddly enough, another person that they suggested, now this is not a front runner currently, was Dean Lombardi, but I highly doubt that would ever happen because if you they are not going to go to anybody who had anything to do with Hextall in the last 8 years, 20 years, or even the guy who threw him his fucking skates when he was playing in the 80s. They're not going with anybody that had anything to do with Hextall, and Dean Lombardi is one of them.
They might not. I don't know what Holmgren has, but Holmgren's looking for a guy who's going to put this team together now. He doesn't want to wait any longer.
I mean, they also have a history of promoting, and Lombardi was previously served as a scout for the Flyers in 2003 and 2006, which also is not exactly the highest point because at that time the Flyers did not have a farm system going on for them at that time.
Nope.
And then they suggested Chris Pronger. Now,
No.
I don't think that's
No.
happening in a
That's
million
keeping it in the
years.
system.
Yeah, no.
Listen, if the Flyers want to find success within the next couple of years, they need to go outside the box.
Yeah. Now, here's another outside-the-box pick.
Don't keep it in the family.
Besides the suggestion of somebody like Chuck Fletcher, we now go to Stevie Y, Steve Yzerman.
He's my pick.
Now, all you have to really honestly do is look at the Tampa Bay Lightning, and that should be enough to explain
That's his
how
resume.
great of a GM Stevie Y truly is. He's a great player, and now he's also a great GM on top of it.
Yeah.
I actually don't think he has a job right now. I actually think
No.
he's available.
He was actually released from the Tampa Bay Lightning,
Which is
actually.
surprising because of what he built.
Yes.
Well, it's not exactly
surprisingly.
what he built that got him fired. It was the fact that he couldn't get
Well,
where he wanted to be.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they didn't win. Obviously, losing to the
He's
Caps,
my
but-
he's definitely my guy because he's patient yet he's willing to take risks on guys, and that's kind of something that the Flyers need to do at this point. You got a plethora of talent down in the HL. Time to plug them in. If they don't have plug them in for a couple weeks. If they don't work out, send them down, bring somebody else up.
Yeah.
Take a risk.
Well, the thing is, though, I mean, if you bring him to Philadelphia, he's going to bring in a guy like Henrik Lundqvist because of his love affair for the New York Rangers. I mean, that's
Hey,
the thing.
but,
So,
but,
I
to,
mean,
hey, but to bridge the gap to Carter Hart, I'll take Henrik
that's-
Lundqvist
I
at
mean,
the end of
yeah,
his career.
I mean,
Why
there
the
you
fuck
go.
not?
You got a guy
End of his career, he's not going to be here long.
bring in a guy like Henrik. I mean, that would probably be his first move.
Who knows?
And then, he'd call whoever the hell the next top defenseman is for the Rangers and see how they're doing. Who's it, Shattenkirk? Is he still there?
Shattenkirk is still there, yeah.
Dude, if the Flyers manage to get Shattenkirk to lead a young defense, I don't think we have to worry about too much after
No,
that
I mean, he
fact.
would be solid. But realistically, no, I do like Yzerman probably for your
Yeah, his resume in
He's
Tampa
the-
Bay just says enough.
I
Yeah.
think he's the best one available. That's the thing.
No, I agree too. I mean,
Well,
there's
We'll keep going through them. We'll keep going through.
there's
I
still
mean,
quite a few out
yeah.
there, but
Stevie Y though, I would
He
love
tops
to
my
see.
list.
Yeah, I would love to see Stevie Y in
There's
Philadelphia.
no doubt.
I think Chuck Fletcher's my number 2.
Here's another suggestion, which is in the family, so it won't happen, and that is Dave Poulin, which is
No.
not going to happen either. Because, let's be honest, yes, he served as a GM for an AHL affiliate, but that was an AHL affiliate.
Somebody
not an
said
NHL affiliate.
somebody said something on one of the Flyers Facebook group pages. I don't remember which one it was, saying go out and get Dave Pouliot from Nashville. I'm like, bro, first of all he's on a contract.
Secondly, look at the
Secondly,
team.
why the hell would Nashville let him go?
Yeah, that would.
Why would he want to leave anyway? I mean,
Exactly.
look at the position he's in now.
It's not even necessary to. Well, yeah, but you think you're gonna want to put a team together and just be like, you know what?
I'll leave.
I'm gone.
I'm
I'm
ready.
done. I don't want to do this anymore.
I need a challenge.
That would be stupid.
I need a challenge.
I'm tired of living in Nashville where it's not exactly cold, but it's not warm during the winter. You know, there's friendly
I'm in the
people all
mountains.
around. Yeah, seriously. Like
I mean, the only thing that
the Nashville Strip where there's lots of hot girls wearing cowboy clothes. Yeah. No, let's go to
The-
Philadelphia.
I mean, the only detractor would probably be the country music.
See a lot
but
of homeless
you can
people
always
with
put
no
on
teeth.
headphones. So,
Mhm.
literally, the only detractor is country music, but I can always put on headphones. I don't need to worry about that shit.
They play everything
Serious?
there.
Tennessee girls down there, though. Oh, my God.
That's a good
You've
thing.
been there. You know.
No comment.
Your girlfriend's listening, isn't she?
Nah, she's sleeping.
Oh.
But no comment.
But still, she'll check back later.
She could be listening to tomorrow. Michael!
Of course, that's the moment where he pours himself this tall glass of like soda or what have you, and then he hears it, boom, all over the floor,
Yeah, it just
out of
explodes.
pure fear and shock.
That was the last of my soda.
Next up here,
It was
so
limited edition.
here's the funny part too, because Poulin, this is oddly enough, his front office career started as a scout for the Anaheim Ducks in 2006 and 09. Oddly enough,
Who did we draft that year?
good question. I'm not
I
sure.
think Bobby Ryan was in there somewhere.
Oh,
I think he might have been 2006.
Either way, it's not bad. It's not great, considering what Bobby Ryan has become. But
Yes, sir.
David asks us a question.
Sure.
Says, should the Red Wings fire Ken Holland?
No,
No,
not yet.
no.
Okay.
It's just a team that's in rebuild mode right now, so it's not really worth it. To be completely honest with you.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, by the way, when did Dan Bosma become bench coach for? Where was he? He was watching a Ducks game. Who are they playing this past week? Carolina tomorrow.
Well, he got fired
Florida,
from
Tampa Bay.
Buffalo,
Buffalo.
so
But then
Yeah,
he
that was
worked
2 years ago now.
Yeah, then he worked for like NHL Network for.
He
a couple
did.
Years.
He worked for the junior tournament. Maybe it was Nashville. Maybe it was the game before Nashville.
could have been.
Anyway, continue.
All
I'll look it
right.
up.
Next up, another person that they suggested was Tom Fitzgerald, who you might be familiar with, Mikey. He was the assistant GM for Pittsburgh for 6 years, joining Ray Shero.
Detroit.
Yeah, the Red Wings. Well,
He
here's
just
the thing.
played Detroit.
I loved Ray Shero, and I was really upset when he, left.
Yeah.
But it was for all the right reasons, and obviously I'm not disappointed with what Jimmy Rutherford has done with the team, and I stand by Rutherford right now. I mean, like I said, Ray Shero is great, and you see what he's done to the Devils organization now. I mean, he's basically turned them around, making them a contender again.
So would you feel like it would be a bad move for the Flyers to consider his understudy in Tom Fitzgerald, or would you say that's kind of silly to even consider, considering the fact he's not Ray Shero?
Well, yeah, I mean, that's your biggest part is that you're not Ray Shero. I mean, other than that, I mean, obviously working with him helps big time, but I don't know. Has he been a GM anywhere else? Or
No,
has
he's just been the assistant GM.
Yeah, I mean that's. As a Flyers fan, would you want, or technically a rookie GM as?
No.
Yeah, I was gonna say I would.
Absolutely
I would not want that. I mean,
because I know exactly what would happen. I don't care if Fitzgerald learned from Ray Shero.
Yeah.
Ray Shero's not here to
Yeah.
tell Paul Holmgren to go shove it up his fucking
Yeah.
ass. So no, I absolutely not. I'm
Yeah,
not having a
that's-
rookie GM come into this team.
Yeah, no, that's where I would go too. I wouldn't mess with it.
So what else do we have? We have Bill Zito, who is a GM prospect. He was a key builder of the Columbus Blue Jackets organization.
That's
Which
nice.
I would not exactly go for that either. However,
Really?
though, here's the funny part. He represented
Just read that right there.
Yeah. So say hello.
What is up with you guys?
Just a little post that was pretty funny by Berto over here. I'll show you after the show.
Okay. Well, that being said, though, here's one thing, though, that Bill Zito did kind of funny. He actually represented Kimmo Timonen and negotiated his 6-year, $38 million contract with the Flyers.
That's not bad.
Wow.
So, I mean, he can negotiate. That's not bad.
Well, then
Negotiating
if he shouldn't
skills
be a
aren't bad.
GM. He should be
An agent. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the thing, though. Is he out of his element? That's the real question.
Well, all right. Well,
have.
that brings me to my question.
Sure.
This is an experiment that the Mets are doing. Why not hire an agent as a GM?
Well, that's what the Blue Jackets pretty much were doing, because he's actually currently running as their GM for their AHL affiliate. I don't know if they were considering him to be the GM for the main club, but I mean, there is some homegrown talent that they have gotten there in Columbus that have been absolutely phenomenal. So can't really say that that's a terrible option.
Yeah. No, Cam Atkinson just being one of them is just phenomenal.
Yeah, Cam Atkinson has been nothing short of studly for Columbus since
So
he
those
came.
little fast guys, man. He's very talented though.
Sick
But he's
little
not
mitts
a little
he's got.
rat like Marchand. I respect him. So
Nope, he's actually got some mitts on him.
yeah.
He's got some nice hands.
Now that we have that, we got 5 minutes left. The last guy that comes up on the candidate pool is Ron Francis. Now, yes, he is still under contract. However, though, he can actually get himself out of his contract if he's able to terminate it, and he feels like the Flyers are offering him something nice. He can come over to Philadelphia. However, though, I don't think he would be the guy. And the reason why I say this is Francis, he was very patient with Carolina, too. And unfortunately, Carolina did not really pan out the way that he wanted it to. And then he started selling off the pieces. I don't really see him, with the track record he has right now in Carolina, I don't see them looking at him as heavily as they would as you would look
Well-
at, say, a Chuck Fletcher or a Stevie Y, only because, yeah, Carolina had talent, but they never really did much under his watch.
Yeah, but I get why he. Listen, if I'm the Flyers, I'm not even gonna look at him because it's too much trouble to try and get him anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's built a decent little squad there in Carolina.
They are on the right track.
They are very much on the right track.
It's just that there's too much talent in the Metro right now to even try to compete.
It's
you know?
just, it's a lot of trouble to get him.
Yeah.
You got to get him to terminate his contract.
Exactly. That's the hardest
Then you
part.
got to get him to sign one, and then it's
Then
it's
he
a lot of
wouldn't work
trouble.
out.
Yeah.
And then it's like we went through all this
Just
mess.
go after like I said earlier. Like I think Stevie Y is the best guy available right now.
I would go Stevie Y, honestly.
Yeah,
His-
no, that's
yeah.
who I voted for. I stand by it. I think Stevie
And
Y is the best.
I would go with Stevie Y, and since Hextall is going to probably get the axe, doesn't matter which one of these candidates takes over. Since he's a Hextall guy, Paul Holmgren's probably going to say to the GM, hey, can that just be the one thing I ask you to do when you come in, besides allow me to pretty much tell you how to do all your decisions, because I'm Paul Holmgren and I know how to run this team like you fucking do. Basically, fire Dave Hextall, which is what's going to happen. That's going to be the first thing that happens.
Yeah.
So I would assume Joel Quenneville will probably be the one guy they'd look at for coaching-wise. I'd be fine with that because I can't really complain. You're only taking the most winningest coach in NHL history, so I can't really hate that decision. We'll go with it. We'll see what happens, you know. But, yeah, I would say Stevie Y is probably the best fit right now for Philly.
Yeah.
Yep, and then you got to bring in a new assistant GM. Got to bring in a new defensive coach. So hopefully, like I said, Gord Murphy, I think it was a time for him to go, and I think that could help. Finally, get these guys back into his system and get them playing the way that they should be.
Yeah.
Might not even need that defensive leader. Probably just need a new coach. And somebody said something on my post that I posted in official Flyers fans group. They think that what did he say? Oh, Lappy should go. Ian LaPerriere.
I mean, if he's got to go, he's got to go. You know,
I think he has to go. You got the worst penalty kill in the fucking league right now.
I'm not against Lappy leaving. You know, I don't really have a problem with Lappy leaving, honestly. The only issue I would have is that, you know, if you change coaches mid-season, is that going to kill, like, head coaches mid-season? Hopefully that doesn't hurt the Flyers in the long run, because that's the flip of the coin. It's either going to play out well or it's going to be a fucking disaster.
Might be the spark that they need, though.
Could be.
Unfortunately,
Who
I don't want to see
knows?
Hack go.
Yeah.
I think Hack has done. Yeah, listen, he hasn't done anything amazing, but he's been good enough. He's been good enough.
You're preaching to the choir on that one, but the sad part of
It is what it is, though.
But we all know he's going. We all know that Hack is leaving. We'll be in memoriam for him real soon because it's.
Can we
it's
please
naturally
be in
gonna happen.
memoriam for Randy Carlisle, please? I can't stand watching him anymore.
Or Paul Holmgren.
I like my coach.
Thank you. We needed
Who
to know
asked
that.
you?
I figured I could talk too.
Mute him.
But you don't have.
Mute him.
You don't have any coaching and front office problems right now.
Not yet. No,
just
but
have
we
injury
did
issues.
before Mike Sullivan. I can tell you, Mike Johnson sucked.
Yeah,
He
did.
did.
He was horrible,
He was-
man.
I can't believe how a man could fuck up a team with Sidney Crosby.
But that's
It's almost impossible to do.
But that's the beauty part of changing up a coach in the middle of the year. Look at how it sparked Pittsburgh.
Oh yeah, and but that happened twice because, oh God, who was it? No, what the hell's his name? The guy that was there before Bilesma.
It was the guy who coached the Montreal Canadiens.
Michel Therrien.
Thank you, Michel Therrien.
yeah.
Yes.
He when we were down in the dumps, they bring in Bilesma. Brought us back, went to a Stanley Cup. Obviously, we lost the first year to the Red Wings, but then came back, won the next year. But Mike Sullivan did the same thing. We were down in 10th, 11th place with Johnson, and then Sullivan comes in, revamps that team, brings up a lot of young pups, and then we're a Stanley Cup champion team.
It's a spark, like people see it as, some people overevaluate the situation sometimes, but it's a spark.
Yeah, but
you got to spark this team somehow.
Sometimes you need that. I mean, I love the fact that you bring up an AHL coach too to coach the NHL team, because then you know the talent that you have in your system to bring them up and mesh with these veterans. So.
Who is the coach for the Phantoms anyway?
I believe last time I checked it was Terry Murray. Who was the coach of the Flyers back in the late
I remember
90s.
Terry Murray.
Yeah. So, I mean,
Interesting.
I don't know. I don't know if they would bring Terry Murray up to coach the
Bring him back.
Flyers. I think it's a different era. I mean, the Phantoms aren't doing bad, so maybe not the worst idea in the whole world. I don't know. I mean, we did get to a Stanley Cup Finals with them. We didn't win it.
You got there.
Yeah, we did get there, though.
Getting there is half the battle.
That is true. All right. Well, anyway. Well, folks, I guess it was fun for two of us. But
I had a good time.
did you?
No, I'm just kidding. I always have a good
I
time.
mean, it was alright.
Mine was therapeutic, if anything. So,
I feel like a huge weight has been lifted.
yes. With that being said,
It's like he took everything from this year and just unleashed it tonight.
it had to come out at some point. It had to, and boy, oh boy, all it took was one fucking move from that piece of shit Paul Holmgren, and it did. But anyway, so with that being said, folks, this has been the Hockey Happy Hour, live from A2DRadio.com in the Real Talk Studios. I'm Matt Cincinnati. This is the Penguin loving Mikey Klankoff. Over there is the Darkwing Brian Daly. Behind the board was the sign guy, Mr. Ryan Brodo. And we were brought to you by Scanzano Sports Center, located at 5 Carnegie Plaza in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. Give them a call at 856-889-3434 or visit them on the web at www.scanzanosports.com. Folks, we will hope to see you next week right here on A2DRadio.com. Keep your eyes open. The Hockey Happy Hour comes your way once again from the Real Talk Studios on A2D.com. Peace, everyone. See you next week.